So the show is Prime Woman, and I am Elizabeth Albai. Now, the history of Nigeria will not be complete if some names are not written on it. The history or the activities of Nigerian female fighters or groundbreakers, if you choose, will never be complete if some names are not aligned. My show, this show, your show, Prime Woman, will not be complete again if some personalities do not grace our seats. My personality for today is one woman that you like to sit back and have good fun listening to, watching. Did you watch the film Dreams for Nigeria? A film produced in 2011 by the International Republic Institute. I'm giving you a bit of an iceberg, but then to get her full potentials and full personalities and full All right, that's, you know who my guest is through that little expo we gave you. But you're going to be having a full conversations with her as we go for the next 25 minutes. Now, I want to say, first of all, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much and welcome. Glad that you're having me in your program.
The first time I interviewed you was in my studio. The second time, well, it's still in my studio anyway. But it's a beautiful place to be.
Thank you very much.
And then I did something, I caught you unawares. Yes, I did.
Really?
Yes, I did. And I'm going to show the public what you were doing. We'll be right back with the conversation, but just watch a bit of what I saw when I came in. And I made sure she didn't catch me until when she did. That was you doing farm work. And I was amazed.
You can never get it wrong with farming.
Because we all seem to think that those who have done politics, those who have gone to school are very well read, they all go to shops, supermarket to buy things. But practically everything you eat here, you grow by yourself. How did you get this?
Well, I think the credit goes to my parents, especially my late mom, who has been a farmer all through, and being the first daughter of hers, she instilled that in me. I remember even when we were in the barracks, precisely, in the back of the kitchen, she forced me to get a little garden where I can plant some atarugu, tatashe, okra, spinach, and what have you. And she told me that a woman must have a garden behind her house if she wants to cook something very easy and quickly instead of rushing to the market. And that thing stuck into me. So anywhere I go, definitely I must look for a garden where I have to plant one or two things.
This is more than one or two things.
Or rather, fortunately, if anybody tells me at the end of the day I'm going to go into full farming, I will say that person lied. But here I am. I think I get I'm more into it. I get some pleasure, mostly seeing greens everywhere. So when you have greens everywhere, you're talking about life, you're talking about environment, you're talking about good living. You can easily get things easily when you go to your garden. And again, Another thing that kind of pushed me more was even the first lady. I mean, the present first lady, where she is one of the champion of having the garden behind her back. And I said, aha. So I think I'm not alone in this business of having the garden. And even if you look at it outside Nigeria, other women, I remembered the former First Lady of America, that is Michelle Obama, who believes strongly in having a garden. Even the late Queen of England,
Yeah,
everything,
Elizabeth.
everything you have that must be prepared in her kitchen comes from her garden. So as a woman, if you want to be seriously or highly domesticated, I think garden is it. That little place you see, the last time we planted rice, we got almost about 7 bags of
What?
100 kg of paddy rice there. So whatever we eat in this house, from the animals to the maize, to the beans, to the granola, to the rice, is locally made by us.
Are you thinking about selling some of them?
Yeah, because like in Yola, I have about 15 hectares where we do the rice. Here we have about another 10 hectares where we go into beans cultivation, 2 hectares, another 2 hectares justly for soya beans, and another 10 hectares mostly for maize. So those ones goes into the market.
Okay. Now, beyond what you're doing to, make sales and feed your family, I want to believe that the farm work you're doing, that's also one of the reasons why, since I've known you've always kept fit, which is good. But let me
Thank
take
you
you
for the
back.
compliment.
So let me take you back to 1988. You were in Kaduna, and you were working. And then suddenly, I didn't see you in the office anymore. And then while I was wondering, you were now a public person, representing that certain local government in the National Assembly. What prompted you? Because, and moving on from there, you actually went into another state, that's your state now, representing different federal constituency at different times. That's quite commendable, becoming at a point the youngest female politician in Nigeria. I'd like to know, how did you drop the mantle of a journalist in the new Nigerian newspaper and moved into the new Nigerian politician?
Well, my father came into Nigeria late that. He's late now, in 1939. So most of us were all born in Kaduna.
He came into Nigeria.
He came into Kaduna in 1939. And most of us were born in Kaduna, precisely Kaduna North, then Kaduna South. When my father now came back and we went to the barracks, 1975, Kotoko Barrack precisely, and I schooled in Army Children's School, went to Government Day Secondary School, presently now Command Day Secondary School in Kurumashi. After my secondary school, I got married at the age of 18, 18 plus, because my dad was like, "Oh, you finished school, then what next? I don't think I'm ready for you to go go to your higher education." But I insisted within myself that I might not be limited to just a secondary school certificate. But I saw other women outside the barrack, especially in NTA. You have this Allwell Brown. You have this lady called Hawa Baba Ahmed. You have this Ronke Ayuba. Those were the women I was looking onto. And, when they went to do the NTA news and they said, "This is Sene Allwell Brown," or "This is Hawa Baba Ahmed." You understand? And I thought, if these women can make it, why wouldn't I make it?
Exactly.
And so silently I was admiring them afar off, and I told myself that I can't be benched down as just a secondarian. And when my dad was like, "When did you finish? Have you finished your exam?" And I said, "It's okay. It's either you bring a husband or I give you a husband."
Ah,
And
it was just like that. Either you bring or you collect.
but the one my father wanted me to marry at that time was a family man that has 6 kids. Another has 4 kids. And this gentleman, his late, Koji, just started fresh up and was working. And when I saw the pressure was coming in, I asked him, I said, come, this coming and going here, come, what is it? And he said, no, I am interested, you want to marry me. I said, then you better go and tell my parents. One, he's a graduate, he has finished school, and I believe that with him, I can do whatever I want to do academically. And I said, but on one condition, even if I'm married, will you allow me to go to school? He said, do you think I want to have a complete housewife in the house? So that was what kind of, and when the pressure was coming, that was in June 1986. I was just barely 18 years at that time. And when I felt the pressure, and I told him, I said, Baba, if you are looking for a husband for me, I've gotten one. Not that I really wanted to get married, but I really wanted to pursue my education. And when he said, okay.
And he was the passport.
Yes. So when he said, I said, can we go into a deal? I don't want, so that tomorrow you say, you are not going. I said, write me a small letter that, okay, I'm going to marry, but I want you to continue education. And he did that. May he so rest in peace. He died 10 years ago. You understand? But when we went and we continued, after the marriage, December 1987, I got admission to read banking and finance in ABU. I couldn't, so I got another admission in Kaduna Polytechnic to read marketing, which I did. And at that time, I finished 90. Unfortunately, I didn't get pregnant early enough when I got married. So it was about 3 years later that I got pregnant. By that time, I've almost done with my OND at that time, and it wasn't easy. A man always acronym, and I wasn't brought up that way. At that tender age, what I learned, and when I was in school, my mother had to force me to start learning how to start earning some money. And again, with the kind of family I come from, when you talk about poverty, staying in the barracks and all those things. So I remember 1979, I was still in primary school. On a Saturday, when they were doing the environmental cleaning, every barrack had to come out on that day. And I saw a little girl and a senior sister with a box. Where are you going? They said, no, they want to go and buy bread and start selling. And I remember, that was in June. I remember during the Salah period, I had some little coins. And my bag, I have a little box, this peak milk box. That's my box where I normally arrange my things. And I just moved it, I took a scarf, tied it, and I dumped it under the bed. And I took that same pig carton.
I went to buy bread.
And I was following, and my dad was like, where are you going? I said, I want to start selling bread. He was start shouting, and my mother said, go. And funny enough, that's how we started. I started hawking bread when I was in primary 4, precisely. From there, from bread, I graduated, started doing kosai and akamu. From there, during the raining period, I'll go and buy sugar cane to either sell or granola and all this. And so, why was I doing that? Trying to help my mother. Anybody that knows that you're married to a military man at that time in the barracks, their behaviors and all those things. Of blessed memory. My father believes he's a very handsome man, so he believes he has too many women behind him. So sometimes you don't even see the gentleman at home. So we needed to, especially me, because most of my siblings were male, So from there, that's independency of time to stand alone. And my mother said it in Hausa, that means no matter how you go through things in life, it will never destroy you, but rather makes you stronger. And whatever I am, to the glory of God Almighty, I think I will give the credit to my mom, especially. And my dad, towards the tail end, my dad now looked at me one day and said, there's something about you, but I will just give you my blessing. But you don't forget where you're coming from. Your roots supposed to speak for yourself. And I normally tell my kids, if you look at, maybe if they caught me unaware, my son was with me in the farm. I had to call him. I said, look, you have to be in the farm. And what I was at one point, we were like, I said, even but you passed, you did agric and you were very good. You came out with the A. So now show me what you were doing. Even before you came in, and I was happy that he was taking interest in it. Education, yes, is good. You acquire the knowledge, but that does not mean that if you have the talent or the in-depth thing that makes you happy that you can give out, you won't do that.
You
It's
know,
not easy, but at the end of the day, you get the satisfaction that you are a contributor to nation building. To me, that's it. Okay. How do I become a member of parliament? Just like what I said. When I got married, we resided in Kaduna, same Kaduna South, that I work, with him. And in that, we have an enclave of some of these women in Puda. So sometimes when you are at home doing nothing, the man that was like our security guard has a house close by, and in that house he has too many. The boys or the male has a lot of. He's a company of a family of almost 5. So sometimes when I'll go and I'll see the way they are, and I'll say, no, let's tidy up this place, put this thing in order. I never knew that one day it will speak for me at the end of the day. So tidy up the environment, put the gutters right, and there's this heap of waste near the house. So I told myself Wednesdays and Fridays, I will take myself, clean the place, burnt it up, and people were watching. So one day I looked at the woman and I said, okay, why are you going to buy pepper outside and all this? So why don't you have a small activities of buying and selling? So you are going to be selling pepper, you'll be selling dada, you'll be selling onions. We did that. And we don't have money. And I bought the little things in my house and I gave them. But when in the office, we're supposed to be promoted, I got employed in 1991, precisely in New Nigerian newspaper as an advert officer. 2 of us. But after 7 years into it, there was a kind of a promotion. And the promotion came. I was promoted from level 7.4 to level 9.5. And my other colleague, being a man, was promoted level 15, acting 17. No, level 13, acting 15.
from the same level, son?
Exactly. I'm a very outspoken person. I humble myself, but I don't keep things to myself. And I looked at myself and said, what went wrong that I should? And I went and met my manager. He's late now. And he said, Binta, that's what the management says. I walked straight to the MD. He's alive. It's Professor Abdul Rashid. He was one time the Vice Chancellor of the BUK. He was my MD at that time. I went and I told him, I said, why the difference? We're on the same level. And he laughed. He said, he's a family man. And I said, am I not a family woman? And ironically, the next month now, I was downgraded to level 8, step 5.
Because you complained.
I wouldn't know. And I told myself, I went home and I was telling my late husband, I said, look, something is wrong somewhere, but I won't take it. He said, what will you do? So I want to join politics. So how will you join politics? I said, as mouthy as I am, can be dealt with. What about those women that cannot speak out? I said, how will you want to start a politics? I said, I don't know, but I'm going into it. And he said, okay, you have my blessing. So I went and I said, I'm resigning today. And by that time, even when I was working in the Nigerian newspaper, my salary was 324 naira monthly. That's my net.
Was that before colonial?
That's 1991. I was there 1991 to 1997. But again, because of the nature of how I was brought in, I started making kununzaki. And I was making kununzaki every day. I was having a profit of 350.
Every day?
Every day.
And that was your salary for 1
month. So I was making 1,750 in a week, which is almost accumulatively supposed to be my 6 months salary. I had to 324 and with this kind of a thing, and I'm making 350 every day. So why would I want to work? Nobody. So I told my late manager, them, Malam Mohammed, and I said, sir, I want to resign. He said, well, I said, no, I want to go into politics. How we want to? I said, I don't know, sir. But me, I'm not comfortable staying here and I want to go. He said, how will you survive? I said, "Kununzaki." You understand? And I put in my resignation. We're best of friends with my MD. Very, very cordial till tomorrow. Very, very cordial. So I was in the Senate when he was executive secretary of that. We had a very wonderful relationship till tomorrow. But to me, do I get angry on that? No. From the beginning, I was, because I was looking at, is it because I'm a woman that I've been dealt with like that? But again, it has to do with destiny. If it has not happened, probably I wouldn't have been where I am today. And when I now went and said I want to do, I came to Abuja, went to NCP and they said, no, you can't get your registration here. You have to go back to your local government and your ward. So I went. I got somebody and I said, I want to. That's how the story started. From the beginning, we went late. We started late. At least I came number 3. But what happened? The women in pool that I was helping, when they had that I was trying to contest, those were the women that came out and was going from one house to another and was campaigning for me. I said, this is Binta, blah, blah, blah. And again, the advantage I had, the barrack I grew within, most of the barracks were within my constituency. So you talk about 44 barrack, it is within my constituency. Kotoko barrack is there and all those things. And most of my schoolmates that came in on board and all those things. So, and the relationship that were Kaduna Polytechnic and all this. So all people that knew who I was at that time and going for that came out to contest. So, do we have a godfather? I never had a godfather on that one. But the only godfather was Jehovah that sits in the heavens and rules in the affairs of men. And I stood that. And that is the story today.
And that's a very important thing to say, because a lot of us will always think that if there is no big man there to assist us succeed in life, we'll never really make it. But this is a game changer narrative for me, if you ask. Now you went in there and did not just sit like several other people. Your voice was heard, especially for women, the women issues you brought to the fore. And beyond that, your push for women gave you the very first vice president of Commonwealth, as a female parliament, and I was happy when I heard it. But I'm asking, what is this about you that you're very audacious? Some of the things you did, at a point, I was actually, I remember when I interviewed you, I think 2015 or 2014, I was quite scared for you. And I kept looking. You were never scared for yourself. Where is this courage coming from?
When you stand on the path of truth and you want justice and equity, definitely you have the confidence and the boldness to talk. It's not easy. I remember even when I became the vice chairman of the Commonwealth Women Parliamentarian, the Commonwealth Women Parliamentarian African region. It was the Nigerian women, female, and Ghanaian and then the Ugandan that stood by me. Though the Speaker of Parliament of Uganda was gunning for the presidency. And that was what bore about the Nigerian Women National Anthem. I was one that brought it in when we had that. Yeah. In 2009, after the election, we worked on that, deliberation on that, and I brought it to Nigeria, and I went to the Women Affairs and I said, look, this should be our national anthem. And to the glory of God, today, it stands as the Nigerian Women National Anthem. It's not easy, but whatever you do, have the conscience about tomorrow. Think about tomorrow. So if you do the right thing, it will pay you back tomorrow. If you do the wrong thing, it will bounce back on you tomorrow. So you having the boldness to speak with the zeal of trying to be a person that can bring about a positive change in the lives of people, known or unknown. I saw that tomorrow you can have every confidence to work, and somebody will say, it is because of you I was here, or because of you I wasn't there. So it is not a good thing. So it is better we look at the positive side of life, and that will speak for you. So sing a song.